Hi everyone, welcome back to this Basics of Buddhism video of mine. This one, the 9 Consciousnesses. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, go to my created playlists, click on Basics of Buddhism videos and you'll find it there. Of course, if you are a subscriber, you'll get notifications when I post these videos, so it might be an idea to get subscribing. As I record this, my channel is getting around 1,000 subscribers every month, so you are in good company. Okay, so in part 1, we covered the first 6 consciousnesses and how we can use them to positive effect. As Sensei explains, the whole of Buddhist philosophy centers on the idea of breaking out of the prison of the lesser self to reveal the infinitely expanded true self. The 9 consciousnesses concept was developed to achieve this goal. That's great, isn't it? Chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo doesn't just touch the surface, does it? And Buddhism teaches us that we all have the Buddha nature or Buddhahood. Okay, so where are we up to then? Here we are, the first 6 consciousnesses. The first 5 are the senses, as you can see, and the 6th consciousness is the integration of sensory data, identifying what our 5 senses are communicating to us and making judgments. And then we come to the 7th consciousness. It is the realm of unconscious, the basis for individual identity or self. Unlike the first 6 layers of consciousness that are directed toward the outer world, the 7th consciousness is directed toward our inner life and is largely independent of sensory input. The 7th consciousness is the basis for our sense of individual identity. Attachment to a self distinct to and separate from others has its basis in this consciousness, as does our sense of right and wrong. It is where ideas such as the suggestion that we are separate and isolated and not connected to other people originate. And anyway, Buddhism tells us that this sort of way of thinking is deluded. It is the 7th consciousness which is afraid of death and dying, as it thinks that the end of this particular physical existence is the end of who we are. Moving on, then there is the 8th consciousness, which is sometimes called the alaya consciousness or karmic storehouse, where the energy from our karma is stored. I'm going to be going into karma in another video, so I won't go too deeply into it, but just to say, the heart of karma is the idea that in every moment we are making causes in thought, word and deed. Some people think our karma is fixed, which is not the case in Buddhism. We can definitely change it. The wonderful thing about the concept of karma, as opposed to the fixed idea of destiny or fate, is that if we are experiencing unhappy karma, by making positive causes, we can change the flow of our lives for the better. Whereas the first 7 consciousnesses disappear on death, the 8th consciousness persists through the cycles of active life and the latency of death. It can be thought of as the life flow that supports the activities of the other consciousnesses. The experiences described by those who have undergone clinical death and have been revived could be said to be occurrences at the borderline of the 7th and 8th consciousnesses. I find this absolutely mind-blowing. Do you remember in part 1 where I said it's hard for me to grasp, to fathom, hard for me to get my head around? This is the bit. Like I said before, I get it, but it does blow my mind. But it does explain how chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo can really change our karma. The next quote is absolutely the reason why I chant. When I'm suffering with my mental health, I'm definitely only tapping into the first 7 consciousnesses only. According to Buddhist teachings, there are specific deep-seated delusions in the 7th consciousness regarding the nature of self. These delusions arise from the relationship between the 7th and 8th levels of consciousness and manifest as fundamental egotism. And then we come to the 9th consciousness, our Buddha nature, also known as Amala or pure. This is the core of our lives, and there is nothing deeper or below it. It is fundamentally pure and is not affected by the torrent of karma swirling above it. It is the Buddha nature at one with the life of the universe, and it is what is stimulated when we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. One question I get asked a lot on here and on Twitter is, what should I focus on when I'm chanting? Well, whether we have Gohonzon or not, what is vital is that we focus on our Buddha nature. My mind wanders quite a lot when I'm chanting, I have to admit, but I'm able to bring it back every time by focusing on my Buddha nature. When I'm chanting, of course out loud I'm chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, but in my head I'm literally thinking, I am Buddha, I am the treasure tower. Nichiren encourages us, base your mind on the 9th consciousness and carry out your practice in the 6 consciousnesses. And that was from Hell is the Land of Tranquil Light. By engaging the 6 levels of consciousness through our daily practice of Gongyo and chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, taking part in SGI activities, sharing Buddhism and contributing to the happiness of those around us, we can reveal the qualities of a Buddha, the 9th consciousness. By tapping into our 9th consciousness every day in this way, we can transform our lives on the most fundamental level, develop unwavering confidence in the face of any obstacle, and create supreme value. This is how each of us can realize a life state of absolute happiness. Wow, whose head hurts? Definitely mine. So let's leave it there for now. And like I always ask, please do consider subscribing. It really does make a difference. And the more people who subscribe, the more people I'm reaching, which is absolutely my aim here. So thank you so much for doing so. Please take care of yourselves. Until next time, happy chanting.